Hello. I think I can start calling um, people family now. Um, we are in the family of God. Everything with the Holy Bible has examples about families, family members. If you're talking about a human in the Bible, it's a family member. If you're talking about a God, he even has a son. So I think I would be uh, pretty safe if I would call you all family. Hey, family. All right. So, um, sometimes when you talk with God and the Holy Spirit, or the Holy Spirit, or the Christ, um, you may find that you're doing this on your own. So I'm seeing that ain't nobody getting on here right now, so I'm just going to go ahead and talk. Okay. Let's take a look at the Holy Bible. Um, I'm not really sure how you look at it because I'm not really sure what level you're on with reading the Bible. And the reason why I want to say level is because when I used to read the Bible, I was on a level. I was on a certain level. And now I'm reading the Bible and I'm on a different level. I have a different understanding of the Bible now than I did when I first read it. Fortunately for me, I have the same excitement. After reading it for years, I still have the same excitement. I might not be that excited about reading the whole thing in one sitting, but I'm excited about the things that are contained in the Bible. I'm excited about the content of the Bible. You're going to find out when you're following the Christ, if you talk to people, and um, you're going to hear this little phrase. Well, whatever you read, you took out of context. Or you took the text out of context, kind of thing. They're basically trying to say you're trying to make the Bible say what you want it to say. But here's my thing. I'm excited about the in 2017. I've been saved for I don't know how long. I don't even remember when I got saved. I remember where it was, but I don't even remember the year. But I know it's been a very long time. But I don't want to sing "Nobody Knows the Trouble I've Seen" after all this time. Um, Following him, watching people who are following him, listening to people who are talking about him. Um, I still feel excited about the content of the Holy Bible. Okay, so let's take a look at this. The Holy Bible is a book of laws. Now, depending on the level you're on, you may need a public defender or district attorney or something if you are a beginner in your understanding of the law, or understanding that the Holy Bible is a book of laws. Now, I don't want you to be like, oh, well, never mind, I'm not going to read the Holy Bible because it's a book of laws, blah, 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 blah. I just want you to understand, if you can remember something from, what was that guy's name? I think it was Isaac Newton, who said, what goes up must come down. If you remember that all your life, even though you don't necessarily understand it, but he gave you a word picture so you can remember the words and you can see the picture, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you understand it. Well, that's all. I want you to read the Bible. The Holy Bible, in this sense, is a book of laws. What goes up must come down. So you might not understand how that works. You could see how it works, but you can't really understand it. Number one, you can't see gravity. You can't see gravity pushing it down. If a police officer is arresting someone using excessive force, you can see them push them down to the ground. You don't think about gravity when you see that. But that's that picture will fit nicely into this example. What goes up must come down. So I'm trying to take you away from the example where you can see something, remember something. I'm sorry, read something. What goes up must come down, and um, and keep it in your thoughts for years, years. Never question it. And at some point inside your brain, you were like, okay, I can see that, but you really can't see it. If you accepted it in your brain and you didn't see gravity push the apple down that Isaac Newton was talking about, okay. But if you can see a police officer pushing someone down and not think of gravity, okay, that's what I mean about um, what level you are on reading the Bible. You may be on a level where you're reading the Bible, you can't really see it work, but you're talking about the Bible. For years. You just read it for all right. You don't really understand it, but you read it. Okay, so in that sense, I want you to read it like you read the Isaac Newton's law of gravity. Okay, now, so again, the Holy Bible, it's a book of laws. It's not all the laws. If you get in trouble and if you go to court, they have a law library. Okay, so the Holy Bible has some library kind of things in it, but it's not a law library um, kind of thing. All right, it wasn't even. I think I made the point. So let's move on. I can so the Holy Bible I can prove in a couple of sentences. It's a law book. Well, the main person in the Bible was a person called the Christ. Now, the Christ himself said a couple of things. He said, and you have to accept it like you accepted Isaac Newton's theory about gravity. He said, when he was a child, he got separated from his family. Um, they had to go find him. It's like, oh wow, where's I lost the Christ because no pressure there. Okay, so but when they caught up to him, his response was, "Didn't you know I was about my father's business?" Okay, so um, so let's keep that in mind. Just hold on to that thought. He said, "I'm about my father's business," or "Didn't you know I would be about my father's business?" Okay, and business is law. Law is business. Law is not justice. You might as well forget it. See, you could shoot somebody in the back, running away from you, and you you know there and people have to protest to get justice. Okay, so there is no justice in the court. You might as well forget it. But there is business in the court. The court is about business. It's about somebody's business because it sure ain't about the father's business. If you're thinking that you're going to go to court and receive justice, oh, I'll just tell the truth and everything will be all right. No, it won't be all right because the truth and business is two different things. So you're coming in with truth. Yeah, we heard your truth. And we're going to move forward and we're going to take care of business. So you have to remember what the Christ was saying, and you have to look at it a little different. He speaks in parables, so if you want to understand, you can. If you don't, you don't have to. So the parable that he's trying to get us to understand, or the parable that I'm trying to share, is that particular parable. From a child. Dude, I don't think he was a teenager yet. So I think, until you become a teenager, I think you're a child. Once you reach a teenager, well, you're a teenager. Okay. So, but even at that age, his response was, "Did you not know I would be about my Father's business?" And you have to look at the scenario. He wasn't found in the lobby asking, "Hey, did anybody get any messages about my parents, coming to find me or anything?" Okay, he was teaching. So what was he teaching them? He was teaching them about his Father's business. Now, where was he teaching them? He wasn't teaching them in the lobby, where he just ran the money changers out of later on in his life. That's where the money changers were. They were in the lobby. They weren't near the Holy of Holies. They were outside in the lobby. So he was pretty close to the Holy of Holies. And the people that he was teaching, there were 2 times that the people that were close to the Holy of Holies in the temple or at the church or senior pastor or the deacons, just to bring it into 2017 terms. There were 2 terms when you heard that. I mean, there were 2 times when you heard this particular term. There was that time when he was that age, and you heard it again later on when he was older. So that meant if he said it when he was older, and that's what he said when he was younger, then he didn't change. He was always like that. He was the same. The Christ is the same. The good news of the gospel is the same for everybody. It was the same for the ones that he was teaching when he was 12, as it is for the ones that he was teaching when he was 30. Okay, so he was the same. And you have to understand that he didn't come to end the law. He came to complete it. Okay, because he wrote it, basically. Okay, so the Holy Book, and I can prove it in a couple of sentences, is a law book. Okay, so number 1, he wrote it. Number 2, he said he came to fulfill it, not to end it. Okay, and you have to look at the examples where he ended up in court, Pontius Pilate's court, the Sanhedrin's court, or whatever, the Sadducees and Pharisees' courts, or the ones who actually sent him to a higher court. So the Sadducees and Pharisees would be, like the church, and it would be like the local courts, municipalities with the magistrates. Get it? All right. So, I try to bring the old terms up to the new terms. Okay. So, let's take a look at it. I can prove in a couple of sentences it's a law book. Well, it's full of laws. Now, remember, earlier I had said, hey, Jabri, remember I had said earlier that he wrote the laws. Take the word, hide it in your heart, write it on your heart. Okay, I didn't say that part earlier. When God said something, then it was done. Took him 6 days to finally get around to making mankind, and then on the 7th day he rested. Okay, so He may have said something like this at the end of each day. Let it be, or so it's been said. So it's been said. Let it be written, or let it be written. So it's been said. Kind of thinking. You have to kind of think like that in order to grasp the Father's business. So um, what the Creator was doing wasn't any monkey business. What the Creator was doing was serious business. It was the Father's business, and he's the Father. He's the Creator. So you can get a clue when you read another scripture that says, "If you honor your mother and your father, it will go well with you." It's probably originally written backwards, but that's just me. I wasn't there. Let the word that's in the Bible stand. But how nice that would be to read it. If you honor your father and your mother, it will go well with you. So it may be that way now when you read it. I'm not reading it right now. I'm just going with the information that's being given to me as I go through these two sentences. I'm just going to read two sentences. It's full of law. So number one, the Holy Bible, I can prove in a couple of sentences. It's a law book. It's full of laws. Not what those up comes down kind of laws. Those are like observations. Those are more like, honor your mother and father kind of laws. Because it's a law. If you honor your mother and father, it will go well with you. What goes up comes down. Kind of law. And the problem is when the guy explained the theory of what goes up must come down, we don't have a general acceptance that we can't see it. We can see it being on the tree. It's an apple, and then it falls off the tree and hits the guy in his head. I mean, how ironic that's an apple. But that's just me. Okay. So, that's just one example. Hi, Lisa. Okay. Number two, it's full of remedies for problems. Okay, so number one, if you find yourself in a court, you're only going to be in there for a remedy. So, hey, there's a problem. You know what's your answer to it? They're trying to reach a remedy. So what the Christ has showed us, something that was quite unique, that the courts will not show you this. All right, because they give you a public defender. Now you have to understand the public defender is on a baseball team, and the public defender is the catcher, and the district attorney is the pitcher. The pitcher. All right, and of course the umpire would be the judge. That's why the umpire wears black. You know,